good morning, based upon wherever you're joining us from. So, my name is Vignesh, and today I'm accompanied by my fellow speaker, Vijay. So, I work as an enterprise architect, and Vijay himself is a senior technical architect. So, this webinar is brought to you by the Microsoft 365 India user group. So this is a complete webinar series, and this is the very first session that we want to do in this webinar series. So as the name itself says, this is a Copilot for Microsoft 365 Zero to Hero webinar series. And the very first session that we want to begin with is how to get started with Copilot for Microsoft 365. So let's dive straight into it. All right, so I just want to make sure that I'm setting the expectations for this entire webinar series. So I want to make sure that you have a detailed understanding of what you can expect from this. The targeted audiences for this webinar series are you could be a business user, meaning your day-to-day job doesn't really require you to, deal with a lot of core technical nitty-gritties, but you use Microsoft Office tools such as Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, and your organization has given you a Copilot for Microsoft 365 license, right? So you want to know, how do I make use of it to make sure that I'm productive in my role, right? The next thing is power users. You could also be a power user wherein there is you do a lot in addition to a normal business user in terms of using this tool. So how this can empower you as a power user. Then what about Microsoft 365 admins and architects? So maybe you're playing the role of a Microsoft 365 admin and an architect wherein you're expected to deploy this service. And you're also expected to administer this service, securely deploy this service. So how do you go about that, right? How do you do a complete enterprise-wide deployment, either for your organization, or it could be even for your customer? Or maybe you're a developer who is completely interested on extensibility, right? Because every Microsoft product, you can consume it as it is, and you can also go ahead and customize and you can extend it based on your business needs. So if that is something that you're interested on, then we also are planning to cover sessions on those. Then could be an IT admin, solution architect, and even sales professional. So for no matter whatever your job profile is, we have something that you can take away from in this entire webinar series, right? So just you need to make sure that you look at the topic and take it from there. So the end goal, we want to make sure that you get yourself familiarized with Copilot for Microsoft 365. Well, at some places you would see that being mentioned as Microsoft 365 Copilot or Copilot for Microsoft 365. Just bear in mind that they both mean the same, right? So you want to make sure that you get yourself familiarized with the product in itself, the deployment methods, customizations, administrations, how do you go about developing or extending privacy, security, and compliance controls around Copilot for Microsoft 365, and also licensing and some best practices on how you can go about deploying this tool. The key takeaways, we want to make sure that you walk away from this entire webinar series having a good understanding about what is Copilot for Microsoft 365, how to use it, how to deploy it, customize it, so on and so forth. And our expectations from you as an audience is we expect you to have at least a very detailed understanding and working knowledge on Microsoft 365 as a service, because in this webinar series, we are not going to talk about the core nitty-gritties of Microsoft 365 in itself, right? This webinar series is targeted for somebody who has a very good working knowledge on Microsoft 365. They understand what is SharePoint, Exchange, Teams, OneDrive, the Office, pretty much everything. You have enough knowledge on that, on the entire Microsoft 365 service, because only then a lot of the things that we are going to talk about would make sense to you. So these are the expectations for this entire webinar series. And how do we plan to run this series? As the name itself says, this is a series, which means we are going to do a good amount of sessions in this, right? So we are planning to do about 15 to 18 sessions. That is what is expected, but we might even do more based upon the need. And the very first few sessions are just introductory stuff. We'll be talking about what is Copilot for Microsoft 365, what about the licensing, all this basic stuff, because we want to make sure that we want everyone to feel included. You could be somebody who is completely new, or you could be somebody who has already been living with this product for quite some time. No matter whatever your background is, we want to make sure that you feel included. So we want to start from the basics. And all these sessions will be announced in the Microsoft 365 Power Platform and Cloud Security India UG Meetup group. So if you are not already a member of this meetup group, so please make sure that you sign and become a member of this meetup group, because all the announcements will be made only on this meetup group. We'll also be recording all these sessions. So, and it'll be published on my YouTube channel. And I'll also be sharing the recordings with everybody who has registered for this session. So for whatever reason, if you couldn't attend a particular session, there is always a chance for you to go back and look at the recording. And each session, we are planning to do it for 60 minutes, wherein the 50 minutes will be given for the session in itself, and the last 10 minutes will be for the Q&A. All right. So the agenda, so today's session, as I said, it's very basic. We want to make sure that we are starting from the basics. So we'll be begin by talking about what is Copilot for Microsoft 365 and why should you care? Excuse me. So I'll be talking about what problem it can solve for you in the very first place, right? So what is it that I'm trying to solve as a business user, as an end user, as a power user using Copilot for Microsoft 365? And then, so my co-speaker Vijay, he has planned some wonderful demos on how to use Copilot for Microsoft 365 on different Microsoft apps, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, so on and so forth. This is a very crisp agenda. We want to begin off with this, and then we'll move on to the complicated topics as we progress further in this webinar series. Okay. So of course we all agree to the fact that the world around us, it's changing, right? So it's changing in a very great speed. Industries are transforming rapidly, right? It could be, you could be representing any industry. You could be coming from manufacturing, you could be coming from healthcare, you could be coming from IT in itself, or no matter whatever the industry you're representing. We all agree to the fact that industries are transforming rapidly. The drivers for economic growth are evolving, and technology is at an inflection point. Right. And now, if you want to understand what has been the main driver behind this, of course, it goes without saying, it's AI. Today, everybody is talking about it. And here is some interesting stats on, if you look at this, the time to reach, let's say for, you know, a mobile phone when it came in, right, it took about 16 years to reach 100 million users. For internet, it took about 7 years. Facebook, as a as a product or application, it took about 4.5 years to get 100 million users. That moment, that's stats. But it just took 3 months for ChatGPT to gain 100 million users. So that's the kind of speed or scale on which this product has been adopted. It's been so rapid, and just like that, it gained enough momentum. And this impact is real. As you can see, you could see that it's been adopted across different industries. It's just not specific to the technical industry alone. You could see this being adopted across different industries also. And you can read more in detail about this on the Madison Project, Art World and Data. There's a good report on this out there. And also the digital depth is costing us innovation. And this is something which a lot of organizations have agreed with. A lot of leaders have also agreed with, because this is some stats, which this is not coming from Microsoft themselves. This is a data which is coming based on an industry research, right? So 64% of employees, they feel that they don't have enough time or energy to do their job. And the reason behind thing is because they feel that 57% of employees' time is just spent in communicating. It could be back and forth chats, back and forth emails, sitting in meetings, which isn't really productive enough, which means you're spending too much of time just in communicating rather than doing the real work in itself, right? And 43% of employees' time is spent creating. You're always constantly keep on creating something. You're constantly reinventing the wheel, right? So if you just were able to look around and do a good research around what already exists, maybe you could be in a position to find that information, but then that is lack of this proper search or exact keywords or whatever, wherein you're constantly creating something which is already there. And this is the impact which AI has been having in a lot of organization. This is a report which is coming from Modern Work Trend Index, right? So 49% of people say that they are worried AI will replace their jobs, while 70% of people happily say that they would delegate as much work as possible to AI to lessen their workloads. And this is a common, let's say, emotion in the industry, right? A lot of us are worried that, hey, would AI take away my job? Wherein there is another emotion that maybe AI is not really going to take away my job. Maybe it's going to empower me. It's just that I should know what to delegate it. What are the things that I want to delegate to the AI agent so that I can focus on the one which really matters to me. And maybe towards the end of this complete webinar series, you'll be able to tell for yourself that is Copilot for Microsoft 365 really trying to replace my job as an employee, or is it trying to empower me and trying to make it more productive? Okay, so what we are finally planning to say is Copilot for Microsoft 365 is your AI assistant at work. Of course, we all have been here long enough to see that there was something called as Office Clippy back then. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you are in the same vintage as me. I started my career sometime in 2010, and I've been in this industry for almost, let's say, close to 14 years now. If you're in the same vintage as me, a lot of you might, during your school days or your college days, you would have seen this product, you would have seen this Office Clippy. It used to think of it as an agent for all your Microsoft Office related stuff, right? But when I say Copilot for Microsoft 365, think of it as Clippy on steroids. There is a lot that it can do out there. So Copilot for Microsoft 365 is transforming the way it works. And these are some interesting stats. I don't want to keep just giving you stats. These are some numbers which you can also go and read out later for yourself. So ultimately what Copilot for Microsoft 365 is at a very high level is think of it as something which brings together the large language models plus Microsoft Graph. Then as well as your Microsoft 365 apps and the data which is coming from internet, right? Now, how does it all come together, right? In the next session, we'll be talking in detail more about the architecture, what happened behind the hoods, so on and so forth. How does it process your data? How does it make sure that your data is not getting into wrong hands, so on and so forth. But at a very high level, this is what is happening. It picks the large language models, it processes it with the Microsoft Graph. When I say Microsoft Graph, it's basically all the data, all your data which is living into Microsoft 365. When I say all your data, it could be the documents that you have created. It could be the emails that you have written. It could be the chat conversations that you had, right? Everything is stored inside Microsoft 365, right? And where do you access all this content? You access in your day-to-day Microsoft 365 apps, such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, so on and so forth. It just doesn't end there. It also brings in data from the internet also, because it's understandable that not all the data that you're looking for is living within your organization's repository, meaning it's just not living inside the Microsoft 365 tenant. Sometimes there is a need that the data should also be coming from external resources, which is why, and this is a configurable thing. If at all you want that to happen, you can turn it on, or if you do not want that to happen, we can turn it off. And we'll be showing all those controls during the administration session or when we are talking about the architecture and stuff. So with that being said, we just want to focus on a few important demos on today's session. So we want to focus about how you can supercharge your productivity, amplify your creativity, and how is Copilot for Microsoft 365 your trusted security partner, right? We want to show you how you can use this and be productive across Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and I believe there are other few Microsoft apps also which Vijay is planning to show. So with that, let me hand it over to Vijay. So Vijay, over to you to show these wonderful demos. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Vignesh. I'll quickly share my screen.
Yeah,
And let me know once you're able to see my screen.
it's visible. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Vignesh, for giving a quick overview about Microsoft 365 Copilot. So let's get into the demo part. And in this demo, we are going to see a list of use cases and see how the Copilot can help the employees' productivity and save time in your daily tasks. Right. So each use case will be focused on a specific different departments and also Microsoft 365 app department in the sense like a department or division, like in the sense like it can be a sales, it can be like a chat team, IT, finance, and everything. So for example, like let's see how HR professionals can use Microsoft 365 Copilot in Outlook to send emails, right? Like for sending the offer letters to the candidates. That's just an example, right? So like that, we are going to see various use cases, and for each use case we'll be going through different scenarios and each one will be we showcase a different Microsoft 365 app. Okay. So let's get into the first use case. So this first use case and the second use case that we are going to see, it's mainly for the executives, right? So let's see how this Copilot, Microsoft 365 Copilot chat in Microsoft Teams going to help the executives to synthesize their communication insights. Okay, let's imagine that you are an executive and you there is a project which is going on for last 3 months or 4 months, right? As an executive, you want to and also there are a lot of communications going on across various channels such as emails and then through teams chats and also like through meetings and everything. And as an executive, you want to get some key information or key insights or key points about this particular project, which is what is happening for the last 30 days, or like you want to get some what are the decisions made or what are the action items, right? So if you as an executive, if you want to get all this information, then you need to go to different places, look for the information. It's going to be getting difficult, right? And also you might be dependent on someone like a project manager or someone whom you need to reach out and get those details. Instead of that, let's see as an executive how you can make use of Microsoft 365 Copilot chat in Teams to summarize and to quickly summarize and get the key information for a specific project, right? So let's get into the demo and then let's come back and see what are the key benefits of using the Copilot chat in Teams. So I'm going to go to the Teams app. Let's give me 1 minute. Okay, so I'm in Teams now, and once you go to the Teams on the left side, you can see the chat window. So go to the chat window, and at the top left corner, you will see the Copilot icon, and we'll click on that. Okay, so once click, you can see the Copilot pane over here, and we can ask the questions. So it is also contains some list of predefined templates, and let's go to the first one. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, let's summarize some all the emails, meetings, and the chats over the past 30 days related to a specific project. So I'll go back here. I'll enter the chat over here. Okay, and I'm going to enter for the SharePoint migration project. There is a one project that is going on for last few months. So I'm going to enter the project name. So it is going to generate the response. Let's see, it is going to collect the data both from Teams as well as from the Outlook. Let's see the summary. So if you see here, it is generating the response, and the response is coming from different things. Like for example, emails, there was an email around that, and also from the meetings. And at the bottom, you can see from what is the data source or from where the information is coming from. So if you see this one, this is coming from Outlook, and this is coming from the meeting. Okay, and also like it will also, you can see there are list of prompts like a suggest that is suggested by the Copilot itself based on the content generated over here. Okay, so can you provide more details on the test migration? Summarize the key points. Let's click on one of the prompt. Can you provide more details on the test migration? And let's see what it is going to generate. Okay, so you can see the information about the test migration, what are the findings, what is the plan or the remediation plan, and everything. And also you could see the source from where this information is coming from. So you have a list of suggested prompts. Copilot provides you the list of suggested prompts, and also you can click on view prompts to see the other like a predefined or commonly used prompts over here. Okay, So that's how like a Copilot chat, coming back to the slide. So Copilot chat will help you to efficiently summarize the key information. You don't need to depend on anyone, or you don't need to go to different channels to get the information. So it can efficiently summarize the emails. So the data, like it will have access to your Outlook data as well as our Teams, and also it reduces lot of time for you, and it also enhances the productivity. So this is one of the use case where the executives can make use of Copilot chat in Teams. Let's go to the next one. So we have seen the demo for this one, and let's go to the next one. So this is also similar to the first one. It's related to Microsoft Teams, and it is also again targeted for the executives. So here the only difference between the Copilot chat in Teams and Copilot in Teams, the difference is this is going to synthesize or the summarize the information, key information only from the chat or the channel threads. Whereas the previous one, Copilot Chat, you were able to summarize the information from both Teams and Outlook data. And this one is going to be only the team chat and the channel threads. Okay, so let's get into the demo again. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, so I'm back to this one, like in Teams window. Again, like I will just see one of the user, James Smith. I'll go here. And again, similarly, like you have the Copilot icon at the top right corner, and when you click on it, it is going to open the Copilot pane. So I have asked a few questions before. Let's ask a few more things, right? Like let's ask to summarize some of the key information over here. Okay, I'll just go here. We'll enter the prompt. Let's summarize this chat. Okay, it's going to summarize whatever the discussions that happened between myself and James Smith. Okay, so you can see the summary of the chat, what happened and when. So it's generating the content. So you can see what I have done and what James Smith has provided the information. Yeah. Okay, still it is generating, and it will also going to provide some of the suggested prompts based on the content that has been generated or the content that is available over here, right? So I'll also show it all depends like once it's been completed, it's going to showcase some of the more prompts are there. Like you can see the prompt suggestions, highlights from the last 7 days alone, highlights from the past 10 days, what decisions were made, and what are the top open items. Again, these prompts that are that basically the suggested prompts that are available over here, it all depends on the what data information that you have here or what has been generated here. Okay, I'll give you a quick sample. I'll go to the Vignesh chat. There is no conversation between both of us, myself and Vignesh. So in this case, if you see this chat needs more conversation to generate the response. So as I mentioned, all the suggested prompts over there, whatever you're seeing here, it all depends on the content that you have it in your chat window. Otherwise, it's not going to showcase here. So I'll click on what are the decisions were made. Let's click on what decisions were made. This is one of the suggested prompt, and let's see what decisions were made. So you can see here the functionality of Copilot. So James Smith will present the overview on functionality. This is one of the decision made, and we'll have a dry run. So you can see this one. Right. So it all depends on the content, how much content that you have. Otherwise, the Copilot will not be able to generate any response. So these are some of the two use cases which is related to Microsoft Teams, how you can make use of the Copilot chat and help you to summarize the key information and to see open decisions, and also like what do you call, like if there are any open items or any action items that needs to be taken. Instead of going and searching different chats, like it helps you to summarize everything and give you some of the decisions that you need to take or the action items. Okay, I'll go back to the slide deck. Let's go to the next use case. Okay, So let's see how Copilot is going to help the marketing team in the loop to brainstorm the marketing campaign ideas. Right. Okay. So let's imagine that you are a marketing program manager in a Tailspin Toys, and you want to use Copilot, Microsoft Copilot in Loop to brainstorm and organize marketing campaign ideas for a new line of outdoor toys. Right. Let's see how Copilot can help you to generate the ideas, and then generate the ideas and refine them in a proper structured manner and everything. Let's quickly, before going to the benefits, let's quickly get into a demo and I'll showcase you that one. I'll go back to the Microsoft 365 homepage. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, so that now thing is, let's go to the loop app. So I've already opened that loop app. Okay, so I'll just try to delete this one, or that's fine. Okay, so the first step is like, let's create a new workspace. Now I'll go in the loop and create a new workspace, and give it as a name, brainstorm ideas. Okay, I'll just click on create. And then once you create that, let's create there's already an untitled one. Let's go there and give us name for this one. Sorry, let's give cancel. Let's give a name for this one, ideas for outdoor. And then there will be a Copilot thing, and let's enter the forward slash and click on draft page content. And you can see there are suggested prompts, basically like a draft a work ticket, brainstorm ideas, brainstorm strategies, and describe the importance of two-factor authentication of a kid. Let's again close this one, and then again we can go back and it's every time it's going to give a different messages or different prompts over here. Okay, let's go and enter our prompt. Just give me 1 minute. So let's brainstorm the ideas for the campaign for the outdoor toys. Okay. So I'm going to enter this one, brainstorm 10 ideas for a marketing campaign for a new line of outdoor toys. Let's give enter. It's going to give me 10, I'm going to generate 10 ideas. Let's wait how it is going to generate. Okay, so if you see, it has generated all the ideas for the outdoor things, outdoor toy campaign. But if you see, it's all in the bullet points. What I want to do is, now I want to structure this or format this into a particular in a table format. Okay, so I'll just quickly go, and then let's add one more. Like we'll ask the Copilot to format it in a different format or tabular format, basically. So that looks good. However, please rewrite the report by placing the information in a table and provide more specific details for each idea. Let's click on enter. And this is going to, now Copilot is going to structure this particular ideas into a tabular format and also add description to that. Okay, if you see, now it has been generated or formatted the ideas into a tabular format, and you can see all the details has been added. Okay, let's now see how Copilot can add. It's like we want to add a new idea to this one. Okay, let's ask the Copilot to do that part. So we will add an idea for supermarket store promotions. Let's enter a new prompt. Ask the Copilot to add new idea. So add an idea for supermarket store promotions. Now what it will do is it will add this particular idea to the existing table structure itself. Let's see. Okay, it's generating it. Okay, so if you could see, there was previously 10 10 ideas. Now the 11th idea has been added, supermarket store promotions, and you can see it's been added. And also you can see the various history over here. And like always, like you can go back to the previous ones, like you can see here. So now you, in case if you don't want this particular idea, or you can always do undo. Okay. So now let's see how we can sort this particular ideas from best to worst. So again, there is a sort option over here. It is going to sort the things based on the alphabetical things, but let's sort the ideas from best to worst, like, or sort it from the most effective to the least effective ideas. Okay. So I'll just enter a prompt. Okay, so let's go here, enter the prompt. Okay, please sort the ideas in the table starting from most effective to least effective. Let's click on enter, and it's going to sort this based on the from best to worst. Okay, so this way, like you can generate the ideas, brainstorm the ideas, and also you can easily sort it based on like some business logic and everything, and it helps you to reduce lot of time, right? So let's go back to the slide deck. Okay, so as I mentioned, it's helps you to generate and refine the marketing ideas quickly, and you can collaborate on that campaign development, and if you can do the efficient planning. Okay, let's get into the next one, next use case. Okay, and now let's see how Copilot can help the finance team in analyzing the some data in the Excel sheet. Okay, let's imagine that you are a finance director and you want to use Copilot in Excel to analyze some of the Q1 marketing campaign data. Okay, I already have the Excel sheet available with the data, Q1 data, and let's see how, like, as a director, how you can use the data and determine the number, or determine the number to find the effectiveness of the Q1 marketing campaigns. Okay, let's go back to the Microsoft 365 thing, homepage. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. Okay, we are there in the Microsoft 365 homepage, and I have already have the Excel sheet. Let's go to that one. I'll go to the home page, and I think I already have that Excel sheet open. So in the recent list, I have this Excel sheet open. So this is the Q1 marketing campaigns. So if you go to the data, okay, just give me 1 minute. I'll go to the OneDrive actually. Okay, so this is the data that I have it, and I need to analyze this one as a finance director. Okay, so you can see there are various campaign types. You can see digital marketing, brand marketing, everything, and it also has the revenue, budget, total users targeted, and the engaged users. Okay, so in order to use Copilot in Excel, make sure that you have created the Excel table that contains the data, Okay, otherwise, like, it is not going to work. It will be just the Copilot will be generating the instructions, but you will not be able to make use of that to create a data table, or the create the creating the formulas and everything. I'll showcase that one. Okay, so I already have this table available. Let's first ask the Copilot to identify which campaign types are most profitable. Okay, let's go. Let's go here. We'll ask this prompt. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, let's go here to the top home button, and you should be seeing the Copilot icon over here. Just refresh the screen. Okay, so I'll click on the Copilot icon, which is available in the top ribbon, and then we'll enter the prompt. What happened? Okay, so again, you can see, just give me 1 minute. I'll just make sure. Okay. Okay, you can see a list of prompts available. Let's enter this particular prompt, create a pivot table to analyze the total revenue generated by each campaign type. And let's enter this one. Just give me 1 minute. Sorry for that. Let's see. Okay, I'll ask the question again. It's going to generate me two responses. Okay, one response would be we have asked the Copilot to generate the pivot table itself, analyzing this data. So you can see there will be two responses. One is it has created the pivot table itself, and the other one is it has provided the explanation how it has calculated the total revenue. So now if you see, it is easy for me. I don't need to do anything. I just need to click on this add to a new sheet, and it is going to add this pivot table to the new sheet itself. So you can see over here, it has created the pivot table over here, and it also given the explanation for that. So I no need to go and create the pivot table, select all the columns and do all those things. As a uh, 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 as a uh, as a finance director, I just need to just uh, enter the question in a natural language, and it is going to generate me the pivot table, and I just need to insert that one. That's it. Okay, so we'll go for different prompts now. Let's also create a chart with this one. Like it has created the pivot table, but I want to have a chart also to see the visualization. Okay, so in sheet 2, you created a pivot table to analyze the total revenue generated by each campaign tab. Create a chart in sheet 2 to visualize this data. Again, as I mentioned earlier, if I'm going to run this from this particular sheet, it's going to give me only the instructions. Let's see this one. The reason is we always needs to go back to the sheet where the actual data is available. Otherwise, if you see, it is just going to give me the instructions on how to do that. Okay, go back to the sheet 1 and then enter the same prompt. Okay, now it is going to create a chart as well as, and so that it makes my life easy to just insert that, like clicking on the button is and insert that into a new sheet. So I'll click on enter. It's analyzing this particular data. So always make sure that you have Excel table and go to that particular sheet, so that, and then ask the questions to the Copilot. Okay, so you can see here, it has provided me again the two responses, one with the chart and the other one with the other with the explanation. So I'm going to add to a new sheet. Again, like it is going to create me a new sheet, sheet 3, and it has added the pivot table as well as the chart. Okay, it's not going to, even though I have mentioned that add it to sheet 2, it is not going to do that. So again, like we can delete this one. Okay, so it's not required because the sheet 3 contains both the pivot table and the chart. Always ensure that review whatever the response that has been generated by the Copilot. Okay, so once you review it and if you find that it's all good, then you can keep that one. And also you can see there will be some suggestions also. More prompts, you can click on view prompts, and also there will be some prompts provided, suggested prompts provided, which you can make use of that. Okay, so now I have I have analyzed this one, analyzed the sheet, and I've created a pivot table and I've created this chart. Let's see how we can add some formulas to it, right? Let's calculate the ROI for each campaign type. Okay, so let's go and enter this particular prompt. Okay, let's calculate the ROI for each campaign. So again, it is going to do the same thing. It's going to generate two responses, one with the formula and other one with the explanation. Again, as I mentioned, I ran it from the wrong sheet. I need to go back to the sheet 1 and then click on enter. Sorry, enter the question again, so that it is going to give me the formula, as well as it will give me an option to insert the column itself. Okay, so tell this that, so you can see here it has given me the response. I can just insert this column again. Make sure to review the formula that has been created. So like this, you can ask questions and it is going to generate all the formulas, pivot tables, as charts and everything for you. Right. And in case like when I've done this now, I have added some of the things here: calculated columns, pivot table, and chart. Like what we can do is we can also ask the Copilot to suggest what else can be added over here. Like let's ask this question: show data insights, so that it can help you to provide more formulas or more pivot tables that would be really required for this based on this by analyzing this particular data. Okay, so let's ask this one and then we'll move to the next use case. Is going to provide me a different pivot tables of different charts by analyzing the data. Okay, so you can see here it's giving me different like a budget by launch date. Okay, and instead of creating multiple sheets like this, what I can do is it also provides me some of the suggested prompts over here. So add all insights to grid. Let's click on this one. Let's see what it is going to do. So it is creating a new sheet, sheet 2, and you can see all the charts in one single place like this, in one single grid. Okay. So how easy it was, right? We no need to create each one and do all this formulas or pivot tables, a chart. Everything has been done like just by asking the question to the chat, question to the Copilot, and it is giving all the response back. Right. So it provides a numerous benefits like ask questions about your data set in the natural language rather than writing the formulas or doing it by yourself. Okay. Let's go to the next use case. Okay, so the next use case is like for the presentation one, like a PowerPoint. Basically, let's see how the Copilot in a PowerPoint is going to help the sales and marketing team. Let's imagine that you are a director of sales and marketing team, and you want to create a presentation that you want to showcase to the sales team, that you want to present to the sales team about this about the hottest selling product called Contoso Protein Plus Shake. Okay, and also there is a report available, the market trend report available, and you want to analyze that to prepare the presentation. Okay, so let's go back to the PowerPoint Microsoft 365 site. I'll go back here. Okay, so just give me 1 minute. Okay, okay, so I'll go back to the home page. I'm going to go to the apps, and then I'll go to the PowerPoint and create a new presentation, blank presentation. Before that, I'll go to OneDrive. There is a market trend document that is available. So I'll just make sure that I'll click on this one so that it is available as the most recently used. And we are going to use this particular thing in the presentation. Okay. So the thing is, based on this document, we are going to analyze this document and create the presentation. So go back to the presentation, create a presentation. So I'll just select the label. Just give me 1 second. I'll just create a new one. Sorry for that. Create a presentation. And then we can reference this particular file, the Word document, and what it will do is like it will be generating the presentation based on the report itself. Okay. So I'm going to share this document presentation about what I can do is like I can select this market trend document either by entering the / or you can select a reference a file. Okay, so I'll just take it from the most recent one. Okay, and then I click on enter. So it is going to generate the slides that is based on this particular document, and you can see it's generating different slides with all the information. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just click on generate slides. It's going to add all the slides to this particular presentation. And also, like, apart from that, you can organize this presentation, and if you want to add any new slides, you can just ask. Again, it's all in the natural language. You can ask the question in the Copilot pane, and it is going to add you a new slide or update any existing slide, or like you can also, it helps you to add the speaker notes for all this slides also. Okay, so it's already created this one. Okay, let's click on. So if you're fine with the slide deck, you can keep it. Otherwise, you can again ask it and regenerate it. So I'm just going to keep this one. Okay, so no. Okay, and let's go to this Copilot. Well, let's click on Copilot pane, and then let's ask this Copilot to organize this content. Okay. Okay, and also you can see there are already some of the existing or the suggestions, prompt suggestions available over here. So like generate speaker notes for the presentation or summarize the content of the presentation. So what you can do is like you can add speaker notes for the presentation, and also like as part of this, like let's add one more slide for the Q&A. I think like there is no slide for the Q&A. So what we can do is now we can add one more slide for the Q&A one. Let's ask the question to Copilot now. Okay, let's ask the Copilot to add one more thing. Select the question and check the response as added. Create a new slide and add it to the section. Okay. So create a new slide Q&A and add it to the new Q&A slide. Okay, just add this one. And also, like you can ask the Copilot to provide all the suggestions for what are the questions that can be expected from this presentation. So you can just ask this question. You can ask that Copilot to generate all the questions and also the response for that. And in the Q&A, you can add it to the speaker notes. What are the expected questions from the audience based on the content or based on the presentation that is available. Okay, so that's how you can make use of Copilot in the PowerPoint, and you can easily prepare the presentation. You can save a lot of time, and you can also generate all the speaker notes, and all those things can be easily done with the Copilot in the PowerPoint. So summarize the presentation. You can just focus on the content. Then you can ask the Copilot to do the designing and formatting and everything. Okay, and also we are seeing like we just add the Word document, which is having a lot of information about the market trend for that particular product, and we have transformed that into the presentation. So these are some of the key features of making use of the Copilot in the PowerPoint. Let's go to the next use case. I'll just stop here. Like, Vignesh, is there any questions till now? Point project. Okay. So let's go to the next use case. Let's see how Copilot is going to help the IT team while they are using the Word document. Imagine that you are a technical architect, technical lead for trade research, and you want to you're managing a implementation project, VPN implementation project. Okay, and there was already a documentation created, technical documentation created, which covers the details about this implementation project, and you want to, as a lead, you want to present it to the Fabricam team, right? And you went through the document, and you just realize that there are some sections, important sections missing, and you want to update that particular document. right? So here, like we can the being the tech lead, you can make use of, you can ask the Copilot to update your existing document and do existing document, and also you can ask to generate new content, also ask highlight a certain section and ask more questions about that. And also like what you can do is for designing, like formatting the formatting the content, the Word document, all these things can be done easily with the help of Copilot, right? So let's quickly get into the demo. I'll go to the again back to the this one, Microsoft 365 homepage. I already have the document. Just give me 1 minute. I'll go to the OneDrive. So this is the one. This is the tray research VPN technical overview document. Okay. So let's start with adding a new content to the existing document. Okay. So we'll just enter a prompt. Just give me 1 second. Okay, just select the label. Okay, and again, like you can go back to the ribbon and you can see the Copilot. Okay, you can see the Copilot icon over here and click on it. Again, so you can see some of the predefined and commonly used prompts over here, like summarize this document, generate an image of the description, all those things. So what we will be doing is we'll enter this particular prompt, write a new section of this document about the types of VPNs, discuss the pros and cons. This content is for that. So please provide specific details. Let's see. Let's click on this one. So it is generating all this particular information. Okay, so you can either just copy and paste it. Okay, so let's see, once it's been generated, yeah, insert it. So you have an option to insert this one. Just ensure that you review this particular thing, and once you're fine with the content, you can insert, you can just go and insert wherever that is required, right? So I'm just going to insert it at the end. Okay, so I'll just go and insert this particular section over here. Okay, so it has inserted this one. Okay, and also let's further review and notice that there is no mention of security policies related to VPN usage. Okay, so this is the key area. So let's add new section for that one, please. Okay, so I'll just enter a new prompt. Okay, please write a new section for this document about security policies related to, okay, and so provide specific details. And again, keep in mind that sometimes what it happens is when you're asking questions to the Copilot, sometimes the backend it would have generated the response, but might be throwing some errors. So during that scenarios, ensure that like at least try with a 2 or 3 times, or refine your prompt and then keep asking that question. Okay, so just try with 2 or 3 times, because in the backend it would have generated, but due to some reason it would throw an error message. So retry for 2 or 3 times and then rephrase the prompt and then try it out. Okay, so I'm just, this is for the just an sample purpose, example purpose. So I'm not going to insert this one. Let's see a different scenario. Some highlight the okay, so let's highlight some content and ask about this prompt. Okay, enter this prompt. Let's go back to there is a section called risks and mitigations. Okay, so I'll just select this one, then ask this one, enter the question. So you can highlight the content and you can also highlight the content and discusses so the highlighted content discusses the risk of using VPNs in both home and enterprise. Remove the content related to home networks. So even you can do like this, you can highlight some content and then ask to make certain updates to that particular content. Okay. And also, as I mentioned, for the other things like a PowerPoint or the Excel sheet, always like you can ask for other suggestions. You can ask like, is there anything missing in this particular document that you would recommend adding? So you can ask for the suggestions, and Copilot will be providing you the suggestions, and then you can, if you want to add that, you can just add those things. Okay, so by this way, I'll go back to the presentation. By this way, it helps the Copilot, and Word is going to help you in saving lot of time instead of generating the content or like updating those things, right? You can ask the questions in a natural language and it is going to generate the contents. Ensure that you review the content, and if everything is fine, you can add it over here. It saves lot of time, instead of writing it everything from the scratch, you can generate the content and then you can review it and make the necessary changes based on the need, right? So that's how we are seen. It's basically a hey powered writing assistance. You can write it more efficiently and effectively. Okay, let's go to the next use case. Let's see how the Copilot is going to help the HR professionals in the while they are using the Outlook. Consider, let's imagine that you are an HR manager and you have interviewed a candidate for a design engineer role, and the candidate has cleared the interview, and now you want to send an offer letter to the candidate with all the required information and everything, right? So you can make use of Copilot. You can ask the Copilot to generate or draft the email in the Outlook, and you can then review it and also make any necessary changes. And also you can attach the documents, attach the offer letter, or like if there is any policy documents that are available, if you want to attach it, then you can attach it and you can send it. Okay, let's go back to the Outlook and then see this particular demo. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So now I'll go back to the Outlook and draft a new email. Okay. So now I'll ask the Copilot. I'll need to enter a prompt to create an offer letter or draft the offer letter or draft the letter email, and send it to the candidate. Okay. So I'll come back. Just give me 1 minute. I'll enter the prompt here. So I'm the HR manager for the Graphic Design Institute. Please create an email offer letter to Patty that offers the positions. So it gives me all the details. I'll just enter the date that they need to join in April, 25th of April, 25. So I will enter this prompt, the starting salary, and Patty accept. She must sign and return the attached PDF sign. Okay. So I'll click on generate. Let's see how Copilot is going to generate this particular email. You can see here within fraction of seconds, like it has generated based on the prompt that we have provided. It has created this drafted this particular email, and also like you can keep it or discard it, and you can also modify the content. So you can also see here it gives you different options. You can make it shorter, make it longer, or you can change the tone. So like I'll change the tone to formal. Okay, so you can change it, all those things you can do it. And you can also see here the different versions of the draft that has been created, and also you can see the history over here. So I can go back always to the previous versions of the draft email, and again, like if I want to keep it, I can keep it, or discard it, I can discard it. And always like I can go with this different options to make it shorter, longer, change the tone, everything. So it makes a chance for the HRs. It makes it easy to draft the email instead of writing everything from the scratch. They can easily draft it, and then they can have multiple versions of that, and they can easily change the tone. They can easily change the length and all those things. They can try with different things, and then once they review and finalize, it makes them easy to send these offer letters to the candidates. So yeah, multiple drafts, as I mentioned, the benefits like how Copilot and Outlook can help. It's like you can have multiple drafts, and also like a streamline your email creations, ensuring the professionalism, accuracy, like basically having the right tone and the length, changing the length, and you can send it. Okay, let's go to the next use case. Okay, so I think this will be the last one. And let's see how Copilot and Copilot is going to help the operations team in brainstorming some of the project plan ideas with in the whiteboard. Let's imagine that you are an operational manager and you want to install a new boiler system, or you install a boiler system into your building's heating system. Okay, so now, before like you want to make use of Copilot to generate all the steps that are required for the installation, and you want to categorize them into different groups or organize them properly, and also the summarize those details, right? Before doing the actual installation, you want to go to the whiteboard and you want to use the Copilot to generate all the steps that is required to install the boiler. Okay, so again, let's go back to the whiteboard and let's see how you can use the Copilot. Okay, I'm going back here. I'll go back to whiteboard. Just give me one sec. Let's create the whiteboard now. Okay, so I'll go and create a whiteboard. Okay, so I'll create a new whiteboard and then let's wait for this one. I'll just enter the name as boiler installation project plan, and then we'll enter the prompt. Okay, so let's go and enter this particular prompt. I'm the operational manager and we need the, okay, so click on the Copilot and suggest ideas and then click on enter. So I'm the operational manager for Contoso Corporation, new boiler in our heating system. Please suggest the steps we should follow to install the new boiler. And what it is going to do is it is going to generate the ideas like a Yes. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, so you can see this one, Copilot didn't process this prompt. Please refresh it. Just we'll try one more time. Okay, let's like then refresh it. Boiler. Okay, let's refresh it and try it out. Okay, let's try one more time. Just give me 1 second. And let's try the last one more time. Otherwise, like, yeah, let's go back. Sorry, guys. Okay, so again, like what it does is like it is going to generate all the ideas. Basically, it will be giving the ideas in a group of 6, and you can just insert it so that like like how the whiteboard works. It will going to create the sticky note kind of thing, putting all the steps basically that is required to install the boiler, and also like you can see there are other options available here. Once the ideas or the steps are being created, then you can categorize them, and then also you can summarize them. So now, since we don't have content over here, we don't see this categorize and summarize option over summarize. But once the let's try last one more time, otherwise I'll go back. It's fine. Yeah, finally. Okay, so now you can see like it generates the idea of group of 6. Like if in case like if you want to deep dive into it and need more detailed steps, I can click on generate more. Okay, so now it has given me again 6 more. So for me now, I feel like this should be fine. Checking the installation area. Let's insert this one. Okay, now it has created the all the steps. Now let's go back and let's ask something about the let's give me 1 minute. I'm going to enter one more thing, one more prompt. Suggest ways to mitigate the risk of installing the new boiler. Even though it has given me all the installation steps, I'm going to ask the suggestions to mitigate the risk in case like if there is any uh, uh, failures. So we'll see. Okay, so you can see here, I'll click on insert. Don't worry about this one. So I'll just move this particular thing. So don't worry about the layout. Now, as I mentioned earlier, like we'll go and categorize all those things. Okay. So it is categorizing all the steps that has been created. So you will see here, if you are not happy with this categorization, you can always click on regenerate. So it will again regenerate all the categories. Okay. Not good with this. I want to regenerate it. So you can see that, and I am happy with this one. I'm just going to keep this one. Okay, so this is how like you can create all the steps or brainstorm any ideas in the whiteboard, and then you can categorize them into groups. And then once you are categorized, in case if you want to summarize this one, the content that is available, it is going to summarize the content over here. It's going to provide me all the information about whatever the content that is available in the whiteboard. So you can see here who are the participants, the date, and the idea generated, and what is the purpose of this one, right? So it makes the life easy. Like generally when you want to do these things, like you get into a meeting room of like sitting like few people, and then you go to the whiteboard and use the sticky notes to add each step or each idea, and then you categorize them or remove the duplicates, and then like you summarize everything. Instead of that, you can make use of Copilot to ask the question, and then it's going to generate all the ideas, or like in this case generating all the steps that is required for the new boiler system installation, and then you can categorize them and you can summarize it. Okay, so going back, so again, like this is how you can efficiently brainstorm it, easy to collaborate and easy organization. Okay, I'm going to stop this now and over to you, Vignesh. Yeah.
Let me bring my screen back. Okay. So now at this point, we are technically done with the session. So this is the time wherein if at all you have any questions, we would love to take it up, right? And answer. So based on the demos, if there are any questions or anything that you want to brainstorm and ask, now would be the time. We would like to spend about 5 to 10 minutes on this. So if you don't want to voice out your question, that's fine. You can just put it in the chat also. So let us know if you have anything. I assume there are no further questions for us. So with this, what we would do is we can, share this important resources with you. So Vijay, can you just put these links in the chat so that, our participants can make use of this? And I believe all of you were able to, have a very deep understanding of what Copilot for Microsoft 365 can do for you as a normal end user, because Vijay was showing a lot of scenarios. So Copilot for Microsoft 365 is just not about you giving a simple prompt and it's gonna respond, right? You could see all the complex stuff which could have taken hours and hours for any user, for anybody to done. He was just putting the right prompt, the data was there, and it was able to go ahead and fetch it. So um, As a matter of fact, a Copilot for Microsoft 365 can do a lot beyond this also. And as we progress further in these sessions, we'll start looking into those use cases. And as I said in the very beginning, in the very next session, we'll be talking about architecture, what really happens under the hoods, how Copilot for Microsoft 365 processes this information. Because I'm sure a lot of you who are following along with us would be curious to know how does Copilot for Microsoft 365 processes this information, right? Within a matter of seconds, it's giving you everything you need. So we'll look in detail about that also. So the next session will be completely dedicated to the architecture and stuff. So with that, if you don't have any further questions, thanks a lot. I would really I really hope that you all enjoyed this session. If there are any comments and feedbacks, please, you can put it in the chat. And the next session, as I said, will be completely dedicated to the Copilot for Microsoft 365 architecture. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.